A travel guide says, for soaking up the scenic grandeur of the North American continent, nothing compares with Amtrak's California Zephyr train. In March 2023, we traveled over 2,500 miles from Chicago to somewhere near San Francisco. 3 days, 2 nights, from east to west of America. We passed through prairies, the Rocky Mountains, deserts, and the Sierra Nevada. The train departed from Union Station, Chicago. Chicago is important for Gilded Age transportation. It's also an essential national railroad hub in the U.S. It was March and it's still now springtime in the north. Before we noticed it, the train crossed the Mississippi River. After we reached deep into the Midwest, the night fell somewhere between Iowa and Nebraska. The train had been climbing when we woke up, with the Rocky Mountains looming on the horizon. I was always excited about train trips when I was little, especially the part of getting off the train at stops. At Denver Station, we rushed to get off to stretch a little. The train climbs dramatically into the heart of the Rockies, and very soon we saw the snow. Watching it keep changing, we kept wondering what kind of landscape it could be. Is this Colorado blue spruce? Here it seems like high meadows. It might be the gorges along the Colorado River. And the mesas that give a western vibe. And finally, with the setting sun, we reached the Red Rock Desert of eastern Utah. Day 3. As we got closer to our destination, it was almost the Sierra Nevada. It's a mountain range full of granite, a dangerous part of the first transcontinental railroad. It's also where most Chinese railroad workers died. In the U.S., in 1863, the gold rush had spread to the entire continent from California. The countries desperately needed a railroad to connect the east and west. The construction started. The part in the west was a formidable project, so the hire was hard. In 1865, the railroad company started to hire Chinese immigrant workers. By 1865, the number of Chinese in California reached nearly 50,000, and at least 90% were young men. They were industrious, organized, and painstaking. Eventually, the company employed thousands of Chinese laborers, the overwhelming majority of the railroad workforce. The Central Pacific printed handbills and dispatched recruiters to China, especially the Guangdong province, to find new workers. At one point, there were over 10,000 of them. To send money back to their families in China, they suffered from unfair treatment and contempt from their white counterparts. On top of that, they endured extreme hardships during the construction. Imagine in the mountains where no one had set foot before, the workers used explosives to open a path and chisel tunnels through the granite using only handheld drills. They faced a ferocious winter in Nevada and the deserts in Utah. On average, 3 laborers perished for every 2 miles of track laid. In 1869, 4 years after Chinese railroad workers joined labor, this first transcontinental railroad in America finished. More than 1,000 Chinese railroad workers died. The Chinese workers were excluded from the famous photograph of the last spike, and thousands of Chinese workers were laid off immediately after the construction finished. The railroad company did not give them their promised return passage to California. Some workers were left in the hostile wilderness, not knowing where to go. It's all green in the Sierra Nevada. The Zephyr started to descend, reaching closer to the gold rush land. San Francisco Bay is right in front of us. It's a relief when we got off the train. We were delayed for 8 hours. We were burning to get off the train. The overall experience was lovely. A room can easily accommodate one person, except the bathroom and shower are too cramped. The experience was comfortable enough. It was a short train. You could quickly get familiar with all the faces after 3 days and have conversations with some Amish. But the most memorable thing is seeing the views from the panoramic lounge car, playing cards and chatting with friends, talking to fellow passengers, just like how grown-ups talk to the other passengers on the train when I was little. It's about time to plan for the next trip.